Welcome to Watch Hobby Shop. Hi guys, my name is Joe, and today is going to be Watch and Learn Wednesdays. And today I'm going to teach you guys how to resize a bracelet on your watch the correct way, so you'll save a lot more money instead of taking a trip over to the mall or to your watchmaker to have them resize your bracelet for you. I'm going to go ahead and teach you guys how to do this. So let's dive down on the desk, and there's going to be three different types of mainly three types of common bracelet links that are put together. We have a pin and collar system, which this watch has a pin and collar system. This other Citizen Eco Drive, this one actually has a friction pin system in it. And then this bracelet here actually uses screws. So we actually got three different types. I'm going to teach you guys how to resize bracelets, but the main one here we're going to do is going to be the Citizen one here, the automatic pro diver. Now this one here, the best way to do it is put it on your wrist. I have a 7-inch wrist, so we need to determine how many links need to come out. So what I do is I squeeze on the right side here to see approximately how many links need to be taken out. And you always want to have it looser than tighter, depending on how you like your bracelet, I guess. So rule of thumb is you want to take more links out of the 6 o'clock position of the watch. Right here is your 6 o'clock position. You want this to be shorter than the 12 o'clock position on the back side of your wrist. The reason being is because that will get your clasp in the middle. Otherwise, it's going to be hanging too far to one side. If you can take out too many links on the other side, it's going to hang out too much to the other side. So our goal is to get the clasp as close as possible in the middle of your wrist. That way it's the most comfortable. A lot of Seikos use the pin and collar system. Some of the Citizens do. The main tools that you'll need, is really not a lot. They're inexpensive tools, nothing fancy. Is you need to go ahead and have like a hammer that has a metal side on one side here, and this has plastic, like a nylon plastic. Then you want your bracelet holder right here, which has holes in them. That's where the pins are going to pop out and land. I use like a little microcloth, that way it lands on there, and that way you don't lose your pieces. Black is good, that way you can see, because it's stainless steel, will show up on the black. For the screws, you want to have a good set of screwdriver sets, which are like usually these ones are Wehas. These are made in Germany. They got good quality tips. You don't want to have a cheap, I mean, you can use the cheap Chinese ones, but they're only good for a couple uses. And then the other thing is a little pair of tweezers come in handy as well. If they're stubborn pins, get us some small little precision pliers to be able to pull the pins out. Like I said, it's going to be 3.5 links. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2.5 links on the 6 o'clock side and 1 full length on the 12 o'clock side. Very simple, guys. Go ahead and you look on the inside of your bracelet. Most of them will have arrows. This one's showing the arrow is pointing, going to the right on the camera here, if you guys can see. So I got to get the arrow or the pins to come out this direction. So what I have to do is I got to put the arrows that it's pointing to on the opposite side and lay it down. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this one here. Line it up. Like I said, use the metal part because you're going to get more torque when you're pushing down on it. And you'll see it pops right through. You know it's all the way through. Remove that. Lift up carefully, guys, because as you guys can see, the pin is popping out. And there's your pin. And the collar is most likely going to be stuck right over here. There's actually a little collar that's right there. So be careful, guys, not to lose that piece. Because otherwise, if you lose that piece, the pin will just slide in and out, in and out. Go ahead and go to the next one. I'm going to go to the half link. So I want 2.5 links, which is 2 full links. This is a half link, so I just need to take out this one here, which is actually kind of sticking out a little bit. As you notice, I'm using the plastic side. It's not going to damage the bracelet. And start working on that. Just take a couple light hits until it kind of recedes into the hole, which it is. Just hit it a few times so you're nice and straight. See how it went all the way through? So that way you know that the pin is all the way through. And that pin came out pretty easy. Now I got 2 pins sitting there. Now again, that's just the spacing up. Don't forget there's a collar inside that those links right there. So what I want to do is, because the collar is still inside here, I don't want to remove it. Put these 2 pieces together. Now I'm going to flip it around without losing the collar and grab one of the pins and place it into the hole, and it should stop because it's hitting against the collar. So you're going the opposite direction now. Now make sure you use the plastic part, which is the white of the hammer, not the metal, because this is where you can damage the actual stainless steel. Now you guys can see how it's shorter on the 6 o'clock side versus the 12 o'clock side is longer. But I still need to remove probably one more link because it's still a little bit loose. So I got one more link to take out on the other side because it's way too loose for me. Do the exact same thing on the other side. Find the arrows, needs to point up. So that means the pins need to come up this way. So I'm gonna flip it upside down. And I'm gonna start removing one side. See how it comes all the way out. Pin drops out. Go to the other side. Do the exact same thing. Keep an eye on the collar. The collar does pop out. You're gonna need to use the tweezers to put the collar back in because they're so small. Like that. Now, if we did it correctly, the collar should still be inside the watch, which it might be a little hard to see, guys, but the collar's right there. I don't want to take the collar out because it is a little bit tedious to get back into the hole again. So to make sure the collar doesn't pop out, connect the 2 links together. Remember, go opposite direction, put it back the other direction because now the pin has to go opposite. Grab your pin, start it, feed it through the top part, and it's going to stop because it's stopping where the collar is at. Again, make sure you're using the white part of the hammer and just light taps. You don't have to go crazy on it. Now, if I did this correctly, guys, because remember I was going to remove 3.5 links. So right there, those are 1, 2, 3 full links, and you can see how this is a half a link. So I should now have a perfect size for my 7-inch wrist. And look at that, guys. So if I flip over my wrist, see how the clasp is fitting perfectly in the middle of my wrist. And the good thing about this one, it does have a micro adjustment. So it is a little bit tight, but you can use the micro adjustment and go maybe 1 to extend it, 1/4 of a link. Now that should be a perfect fit. So it's nice and comfortable. I can take my pinky and I can fit it in there. That's about the rule of thumb, is running a pinky right through there. Should be able to fit snugly and be able to take out. So it gives you a little bit of breathing room when your wrist swells during the daytime, you know, or it's a hot summer day. But your wrist will swell because once, you know, you put on a watch, it's going to be loose at first, but give it about an hour and your wrist will start swelling up and it should fit perfectly on your wrist after that. Okay, let's move on to the next watch. That one's completed. This is actually called a friction pin, which is very similar to the one I just did before, which is actually a pin and collar. So that's the little collar, that's the pin. This pin goes inside that collar, which makes it stay together tighter. Now this one's different. A friction pin is actually, they call them also a split pin. This one I've already sized for my wrist. So, but I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna remove the link, that way you guys can see. And if you look closely, you guys can see that the 6 o'clock side is obviously shorter versus the 12 o'clock side. So when you put it on your wrist, the clasp is nice in the middle part of your wrist, so it looks even. So that's the way you guys want to do it. So if you need to take out 4 links, you don't take out 2 on one side, don't take out 2 on the other side. It's got to be more on the 6 o'clock side versus the 12 o'clock side. You do the exact same thing. Normally inside there should be arrows, which they do. It's pointing this direction. So it means that the pin needs to come up this way. So that means I have to go to the bottom part to push the pin out. So I go ahead and I flip it upside down. I put in my bracelet holder here. Do the exact same thing we did on the last watch. Use the metal side because you get more torque when you're hitting it. And sometimes these are a little bit trickier to get through because they're a little more tougher, but it actually came out, I believe, yeah. So it did come out. So I don't know if you guys can see the difference. So I'm gonna put it up to the pin and collar system. See how more bulkier it is? On one end there, it's actually split. I can take this and open this up in the middle. There's an actual split. There's like two pieces that are in one, and it's thicker on one side right here. The pin and collar has a pin in the collar, so that's a really big difference right there. Okay, so that's how you guys do that. And then obviously you want to go back the other way. The good thing about the friction pin is there's no collar. The collar ones are probably the most difficult ones to do. So if you can't handle this, guys, go ahead and take it to a watchmaker. They know how to do it. But if you guys have enough confidence, watch this video on how to do it. It's actually quite simple to do. Now I go ahead and go the opposite direction again. It just slips right in. The thicker part of the pin will actually go into the end. And if you want to make sure that it's in tighter, go ahead and take pin, just tap it a couple times to push it in just ever so slightly in to make it a little bit tighter fit. That way it doesn't come apart. Feel the side, this side, and it's nice and snug. It's not going to come out or pop out. Okay, so that's going to be your friction pin, or another name for it's called split pin. And I can take my pinky, and that's about the perfect size on your wrist. Now this other watch is going to be screws. Now this one's a little bit unique. This is a little bit higher end bracelet. Now, not micro brands have them. A lot of people have them. This one's a little bit more expensive of a bracelet. These ones actually use screws on both sides of the bracelet. As you guys can see, there's two screws on both sides. So this one's a little bit trickier. This is actually kind of a neat system on how this company did this one here. But like I said in the beginning, the tools is always about getting the proper tools. You don't have to get the most expensive, but when it comes to screws, because you don't want to strip the heads, is that you want to get a good set of screwdrivers, which I said the Wehas are actually probably my favorite ones to use. So I'm going to go ahead, I think we'll go with a small one here. Very simple, guys. So this one is like a unique system. Most screw pins is only one side, and the whole thing will come out. The screw will along with the pin, because the screw head is actually attached to the actual pin. But on this bracelet, there's actually a screw on both sides of this watch. So you just take it easy, nice and easy, so you don't ruin it. And see, I just took the first screw out. It's actually a tiny little screw that came right out. I go to the other side, same thing. Double check, make sure I got the right one here. Go over here and do the same thing on this side here. Remove the other side of the screw. And that screw came out. Whoops. And see, it's still attached together because there's actually a cylinder that holds the two screws on both sides. So just take a pair of tweezers and push in the middle like so. Or you can take, now you see how I push that? There's actually a tube that's in the middle of the bracelet, and it comes right out. And the screws screw in on both sides of this tube, and now you can remove the link. And then obviously you can just do the opposite, put it back in, put the tube pin back in to the bracelet link. It's a little bit tricky, you kind of have to wiggle it a little bit. And this one you do have to push down, so that way it kind of goes in the middle. So that way the screw heads will meet the threads. Now just be careful because these screws are extremely tiny. And just make sure it's nice and snug. Now, if you guys are concerned, you guys can buy a Loctite, put a little bit of Loctite. Make sure it's the blue one, not the red one. The red one is permanent. And if you put the red one in, you'll never get that screw out. That one has to be heated up to 500 degrees to get out. But I do have Loctite, but I use the blue one. That one will keep it in place. But these screws are pretty good, actually. And just double check your work. And you shouldn't have any problems. It should stay in place for the life of the watch if you did it correctly. All right, guys, so the 3 watches that we did was the pin and collar. It's got the pin and collar. We did the friction pin, which this watch had, and this one, which is not the most common, but it has double screws. But then I don't have another watch that has just a single screw pin, which is you only have to unscrew. That one's actually the easiest one. You have to unscrew the one side. Other than that, that's how you guys change your watch bracelets. Like I said, keep in mind to always rule of thumb is always have the 6 o'clock side a little bit shorter versus the 12 o'clock side, and the center of your clasp will always end up in the middle of your wrist. Okay, guys, I hope you guys found this informative on how to size your watch bracelets whenever you guys buy or purchase a brand new watch. Keep in mind, like I said, there are 3 different types. The most hardest one was the first one that we did, which is the pin and collar system one. And then the second one, that's probably the most easiest, which is the friction pin. And the screw post ones are the easiest. And that last bracelet that I had actually had 2 screws that go into a post in the middle. So there's actually 4 different types of ways to size your bracelets. And like I said, keep in mind to always try to get the clasp centered in the middle. Very simple. Remove more links on the 6 o'clock side versus the 12 o'clock side of your wristwatch. If you guys have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave it down below. I'm more than willing to answer those for you. If you need more questions or you're having some problems with it, you guys can also go to our website at watchhobbyshop.com. Our phone number is there, email address is there. I'm more than willing to help you guys out, help size your bracelets or any troubleshooting you guys might have with your type of bracelet. You can send the pictures in, and I can tell you if it's a pin and collar, friction pin, if it's a screw post, or whatever the case may be. But other than that, in conclusion, I hope you guys learned something from this video. Like I said, it's just a watch and learn. I'm trying to give you guys some valuable information instead of going to a watch maker to size your bracelet or spending $25 to $50 at a jewelry store for them to size your bracelet. You can actually do this yourself at home. And some people want to work on their own watches. Go ahead and do it. But like I said, do it at your own risk. I'm not responsible if you guys scratch up your bracelets, whatever. Just take your time and you guys will enjoy sizing up your own watches and you'll feel more confident. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We would appreciate that. Support the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.